So today, look, I'm just going to tell you the truth. I mean, I always do, but you know, I normally take time to prepare, um, really think things out. And I'm the kind of girl, I like to get up in the morning after I go to the gym and come home, put on meditation music and get a journal and really reflect on what I'm going to write and put music on all throughout the house and sip the coffee and have all the thoughts in my mind. But that ain't going to happen today because you know, now school is happening. And since school is happening, there's no school happening. So Elavie was home all day and I was trying to like do everything. And so, hey, it just is going to be what it is. But I really do believe I have an excellent Teaching Tuesday for you today. Because if you're the type of person who is busy like myself, maybe you've got children, career, husband, wife, things happening, missions, purposes, and happiness to hack, you don't have a lot of time for bull crap, right? BS. You don't have a lot of time for it. So I'm going to give you some tips today, and stand alone. If you just applied one of these tips, you would eradicate any BS from your life just from one of these tips. But I, because like to give you acronyms, I'm going to go ahead and give you my no more BS method that's going to help you transform any bullshit that you're experiencing in your life and just send it on its way. Just lovingly kind of boot it out the door. Tell it, don't let the door hit you well, you know how that saying goes, and move on and find the happiness that you really deserve. Nobody has time to tolerate anymore, right? All the stuff that likely you've been tolerating. I heard, I always say all the time, there's no prize for like ride or die when the person you're in the car with is committing vehicular manslaughter. It's time to get out the car. It's time to be like, you know what, that was great. I'm going to go ahead and you can stop and let me off here. Right? We're done. We're done with this now. And so there's an elegant way to do it. If you're like me, you kind of, I spent most of my life getting to that point where I had two modes, which was like, sweet, kind, tolerate, pretend to be the pretty princess, everything's fine, or I just blow up and go off on people or whatever, because I had no middle ground. I didn't know how to say, hey, I've had my fill at the buffet of life, eating crap, and then I didn't know when to go, ew, this is disgusting, put it away, and I just keep eating it, pretending it was tasty. This is good, I'll have some more. Thank you. New flavor, fantastic. And it's gross, right? And everybody else can like look at you and go, wow, she eats a lot of shit. And then you pride yourself on it. You're like, yep, that's me, shit eater. Hi, black belt. But then what's the prize? Overwhelm, over medicating, over delivering all the time. There's no prize for that. So really, let's eradicate it once and for all, shall we? Now, like I said, I didn't have a lot of time to prepare, but I did have time to make my handy dandy, acronym list for you. Wow, look at that. Okay, so we're going to talk about the first letter in No More BS, which is nail it down. That's the N. Nail it down. What are you going to nail down? You're going to spend some time nailing down your joy suckers in your life. Now, some of you, this is going to be really easy. I recommend making like a little pie chart of your life, like a slice of your life is work. There's stuff you're tolerating that you shouldn't there. A slice of your life is family. There's stuff you're tolerating there. So you're going to look at your whole life as a big picture and say, what are the things I'm tolerating? Now, for some of you, you're going to know right away. You're going to say, well, my marriage is really great, but it's my work situation I'm tolerating. Or that's really good, but I'm tolerating my relationship situation. So where in your life are you settling is number one. Figure that out. But you know what? It doesn't have to be something gigantic. It doesn't have to be this big blazing, I'm settling for this mediocre. Like if your compass is misery, then you're in trouble already kind of picking out the little things that are bothering you, but it's the little things that lead up to the big blow up, right? But if your compass is misery, you'll be like, kind of bad, real bad, ain't no going back, it's going to blow, and you have this whole little misery compass. But people don't live that way. I know it's like really hard to believe, but most people don't live their life as misery as the barometer of when to get out. So I don't want you to even look at the big, big things, although you might know some of those things. What are the little tiny things in your life that you're settling for that actually make you feel unhappy? Start with your home. Your home should really be your sanctuary. It should be the place where you come to get respite at the end of the day. It should be the place where you come to feel relief and de-stress, especially if you have work BS that you're putting up with. But if you come home and you're coming home and your house is a mess and things aren't in order and you've got unfinished things and just a mess piling up, just taking care of your sanctuary would be one giant step in the right direction. Whether you spend a day just kind of cleaning house, going through your house and do like a love it thing. Ask yourself, do I love this? Do I love this picture that's in my house? Do I love this? When I look at this plant, does it bring me joy or remind me that I kill things? And then what do you need to do with that? Do you need to just do a big dump? Just collect the things that pull from your joy. If you look at that plant and every time you look at that plant, you think about how you're failing at watering it, honey, throw the plant away. Put it out in the yard and let it grow a new life. And now you just say, I'm only dealing with the things that bring me joy in my house. Then you move your way to your closet. You know, in your closet, you have size once upon a time and size never will again all the way. And there are things in your closet that you look at that remind you that you're not in the body that you want to be in, or you're not in the body that you used to be in. Get rid of that stuff. Don't do someday stuff. Anything that is adding to your stress level, adding to your bullshit barometer, it's time to start slowly eradicating. So just even starting in your own home and nailing down the things that are depleting you, that are sucking your joy. Because it's one thing to say, I don't know what brings me joy, but it's another thing to know what's pulling your joy. So go through your house and start to look at some of those things and get rid of them, right? Have a big yard sale, give them away, donate them. We donate stuff all the time. Okay. Own it. That is the second thing in our no more BS. Own it. So what does that mean? It means you are 100% responsible for your life and absolutely everything in it. And I think sometimes we can get to the point in our lives where we want to blame other people, right? And that's legitimate. Maybe you had something really bad going on with you and you're still kind of stuck in that space and you're saying, well, the BS that I'm tolerating is actually things that happened to me in the past and I'm still dealing with that. So that's my BS, Heidi. That's what I have on my plate. But the reality is yesterday ended last night, right? And today is a brand new day. And the only way things are going to change is if you disempower the people you put in charge over your life and you reign as the captain of your own ship, right? You decide that you're going to be in charge of your own life. And no more are you going to let other people dictate how you're going to feel. Nobody makes you feel anything without your decision to feel it. So you've got to own it. That is so powerful in and of itself. You know, one of my favorite things to do is to help empower people by realizing that they're empowered already. It's just removing the things that give them, that they have the false power, stripping those things away so the real power can shine through. So own it. I'm not saying bad things didn't happen to you or there are people in your life that are treating you poorly currently, but if you're waiting around for them to change, for them to make the move so that you can start to feel better, well, Heidi, everything will change when this person just does whatever. But that's really it's unlikely that's going to happen. And who's in charge of your happiness? Everybody else but you. And you can feel like a victim. It's the story of two twins. Two twin daughters can grow up in a very traumatic, tragic environment. It's terrible. They suffer. There's addiction in the house or dysfunction in the house. And, one girl grows up and she becomes a degenerate alcoholic, can't take care of herself, gets in bad relationships. The other sister grows up. She becomes like a woman who is in a powerful relationship and she loves herself and nurtures herself. And when you ask them why they turned out, they'll tell you the exact same answer. They'll say, it's the way I grew up, right? This one will say, dad drank, so I drank. Dad treated me bad, so I picked men to treat me bad. This one will say, dad drank, so I don't drink. Dad treated me bad, so I don't tolerate that anymore. So there comes a certain time when you walk that walk from victim to victor and you start to own everything. Nobody else is putting you under there. Nobody else is expecting you to sacrifice or tolerate as much as you do. You are expecting you to sacrifice and tolerate as much as you do. And so until you own that and realize that you hold the key to your own prison, you hold the key to your own cage, when the light bulb goes off there, oh my God, yeah, I don't have to be doing this. I am the key holder. Then everything opens up and a whole world opens up for you. M, meet your own needs. I'm going to put this up at the end so that you can see it. Meet your own needs. Now, let's say that you're in a relationship and you have marriage BS that you're tolerating, okay? You're not getting your needs met in your marriage. And I know a lot of couples, that I work with will come to me and say, well, he's just not affectionate, or he doesn't appreciate me, or he doesn't tell me, how much he loves me, or doesn't hold me, or the only time he touches me is when he wants to have sex with me, or he'll say she doesn't appreciate me, she doesn't want to be, and it's always kind of really interesting. We're both people are talking about wanting the same thing, but what we don't understand is 9 times out of 10 in a relationship, what you're missing is what you're withholding. So if you are in a situation where you're saying, I'm not getting my needs met in my relationship, my husband is not being affectionate to me, or he's only being affectionate when he wants to have sex with me, then I really feel like you need to give what you want. You need to demonstrate what you want, and what's missing is what you're withholding. So if you start to show more affection in other ways, you start to give it, you actually get your needs met. You're not waiting around for somebody else to meet your needs. You have to be able to be willing to say, Oprah said this, I love this quote, you get what you're brave enough to ask for. And I really know that that's true. Expecting other people to meet your needs, expecting people to read your mind and know what it is that's important to you and what matters. You owe your partner the opportunity to meet your needs by telling him what they are. Now, here's why that doesn't happen sometimes, because we don't want to feel like we're needy. Oh, I'm putting up with this BS in my relationship because I don't want to appear needy. If I say I need too much, if I overexpress how I really feel, then I'm going to look like I'm broken. There's something wrong with me. And that could be farthest thing from the truth, because what happens is you withhold, you don't share what you need, and that BS turns and implodes, and now you become a ticking time bomb. You explode on your husband. And another thing you don't do, and another thing you don't do, and now what? Now you really do look like you got a little cuckoo in your Cocoa Puffs. Okay? You're like, oh, okay. See? So ask for what you want. If you're putting up with BS in your work situation, go in there, march your little gorgeous behind into work and say, excuse me, I need more money. What? I could never possibly do that. Well, how would you know? The worst that somebody could say is, I don't want to give it to you. And they say, okay, I see what you're willing to pay me. I'm going to go and see what somebody else is. So you deserve to at least ask and have the opportunity to have your needs met. But only you can meet your own needs. Nobody's going to sit around in life. Most of the time, other people aren't sitting around going, how can I meet their needs? Unless there's an agenda and they think meeting your needs is going to give them some kind of value, right? And that's also kind of screwed up. So be willing to ask for what you want. This is my favorite O. Let me write it down. This is the ticket to no more BS in your life. My favorite O of all time: offend people. That's my motto in life. How do you get happy? You decide to offend more people. You decide that you're not interested in keeping the peace anymore and buttoning it up for the sake of everything else. And you're sitting on all that BS because you don't want to upset the apple cart. You don't want to break the eggs that you're walking on, the eggshells. And sometimes you've got to break a few eggs, my love. Sometimes you have to be willing to offend people. I always say your job in life isn't to like turn everybody on. It's to turn off some people so you can get to the true turned on ones quicker. The people that really are your tribe, the people that are really there for you. You have to be willing in your own life to run the risk of looking a couple things. One is foolish, where somebody's going to go, wow, they're an idiot. I'm interested. I don't care about that. I'm willing to look the fool in order to get my point across, in order to be who I really need to be, or am, or want to be. I'm willing to offend people, because the people I offend, like that great quote, you're not the jackass whisperer, don't try to win over the haters. It's not your responsibility anymore. If something's bothering you and you're sitting on it all the time, now's your time. Now's your opportunity to be brave and to be willing to offend people. You need to be willing to be a woman who's not afraid to disappoint people. That's the ticket. Because guess what? Sometimes people are going to be disappointed, especially if they're used to you doing everything for them all the time. And now you're saying, hey, my BS days are over, baby. A new sheriff's in town, the self-love sheriff, and I'm going to, take care of myself. You remember this little girl? Don't send me messages that I was strangling my cat with my computer cord. Okay. It was an accident. You can see that clearly. All right. So you have to be willing to offend some people, like I was saying. Don't be afraid to piss some people off. It's not that big of a deal. And this is their feelings anyway. If you piss them off, it has nothing to do with you. It's their own stuff being projected onto you anyway. All right, let's move on. No more BS. Release it is the R. This thing's not really working out the way I wanted it to. Release. You have to be willing to let stuff go. We're the only, in nature, life teaches us how to let things go. We just need to look at nature to see how we're supposed to behave. In the fall, the trees have no problem giving way to winter, letting go. The leaf, like there's this great story by Leo Buscaglia about Freddie the leaf, and it's a story about letting go. It's about how this little leaf, is having conversations because he's afraid to let go, and he sees all of his friends leaving. But the beautiful part about the story is when Freddie the leaf finally falls, he melts into the ground and becomes part of the new spring, right? So nothing really ends; it always just transforms. But we're afraid to release stuff and let it go because we don't know what that'll mean. Like if I have something from my history that I'm holding on to, and a lot of the people that I work with, you don't realize there's a payoff for you holding on to your pain. There's a payoff somehow. It gives you an excuse not to go for the things you want to go for in your life, or it gives you a reason to fail. Well, I can't do that because this person never believed in me. But again, yesterday ended last night. My women's group that's starting up September 22nd, and I hope that you join me. The link is in there. It's called Flow, Free, Loved, Open, and Worthy. And one of the things that we do with the free part is helping people release the prison of their past. You cannot move forward until you let go of what's been holding you back. And even in, some of the things that people are holding into, really significant trauma, really significant pain. And I've created a 7-step process that I walk people through in order to release it. It's really life-changing. Just even joining that group and going through that process alone will change your life. So I hope that if you're curious about being with me in that group, please consider filling out the membership form. And there's an application process. But when you are able to gracefully let go of the past and release it, and can you imagine this? Can you imagine there's actually a way, if you will let me walk you through it, where you could release the past and actually have compassion for the people that created that situation for you, or actually have appreciation for the value of the person you've become because of it, and not in the cute way that everybody says, oh, I'm glad it made me who I am today, and then you grit your teeth and flip off traffic. I'm talking about in the genuine way where you have inner peace because you understand everything is divinely designed to work in your favor. And so when you really understand that, you're able to let go of things. I held on to my pain a lot from my lifetime, things that have come up and gone, because it really gave me a reason to drink. In the past, in my history, it'd be like, well, I drank because of this or because of that. But the reality is I drank because I was a binge drinker, right? And because it was Tuesday, right? Not because necessarily that thing had happened or didn't happen in my life. All right. We only have a couple more. End it is the E. End it. All right. So if you have something in your life that's creating a lot of BS for you, your responsibility is to pull the trigger and get out. Earlier today, I posted another video of 5 surefire signs you should end your relationship and get out. And I talked about the first one being you need a sign. You're waiting around for enough evidence mounting for you to finally pull the trigger on something. And I understand that. I used to do that too. I used to go through my life being like, let me just get a little more evidence that I should go. Let me wait for one more sign that it's the right time. And it's the right time to go because you've been contemplating it forever. Some of you have been contemplating ending things for decades. And the reason we don't is because you really only end things for one or two reasons, right? The push of pain, like it's bad and you know you've got to make a decision to end it because the pain is too much, or the pull of purpose. There's something greater that's calling you that says, I got to give up this so that I can get over here to what I really want. The challenge is some of you only have the push of pain. It's like that bad. So you want to end something. I'm tired of this bullshit. I'm going to pull the trigger. No more, never again. But then you don't have anything else better pulling you forward, that pull of purpose moving you the rest of the way. And you need that. You can't live on pain alone to end something, because the reality is pain fades. It's designed to fade. The only reason pain lives on is because people don't let it go. A wound doesn't heal because you keep going back in, reopening the wound all the time, right? When you end something, it'll heal. But if you don't have something in its place to pull you forward, you leave a vacuum, and it's like this empty space. A lot of my clients make big, big strides in their life. One of the things that they're overcoming is codependence. A lot of my clients have been helping other people in their lives. You guys know I work with a lot of mothers who have addicted loved ones. Their children are addicts, their husbands are addicts, and they've been used to their whole entire life caring for that person, going, monitoring their behavior, trying to prevent a relapse, trying to make sure that everything's okay with that one loved one. Well, when they actually release it and they end that that codependent relationship, there has to be something pulling forward in a purpose, or else they feel they feel the hole. It feels empty, like a mourning process when you let go of something if you don't have something new. That's why people relapse. They end it, the pain's so bad, screw it, I'm never going to do it again. They get their shit together, and then they don't have anything in its place, and they go, this is boring. What's the point? What am I sober for? They don't have anything else pulling them forward, making it more appealing for them to keep trekking along. You're designed to use a carrot and a stick, metaphorically, to have something in front of you and something behind you kind of pushing you along. And I can help you figure that out. We can get in touch with why you need to go, where you're from, or if you do need to go, and what you can create in its place, so that you're not sitting around thinking, why did I let that go when there's nothing else better for me? Sometimes we don't let it go because we actually think that that's as good as it's going to get for us. And we've been so used to misery being our barometer that we think, if I let this person go, or this job go, or this situation go that's really causing me a lot of BS in my life, nothing else better will come. Well, that's a lie. That's a lie that you've been living and selling yourself for a very long time. The truth is, whether you believe in God or the universe or whatever it is that you subscribe to, this is the truth I know for sure. God or the universe is a benevolent being, right? It's not malicious. Things grow. Things are well taken care of, evidenced in nature that we have a benevolent universe, right? Everything is in its timing and place and works perfectly in divine design. You're no different than that. So God wouldn't be cruel. It wouldn't make an acorn go into the ground and go, I wish I could become a rose. That's not how life works. The acorn only ever wants to be an acorn or an oak tree, because that's all it knows it can become. A rose doesn't go into the ground and wish it was a tulip. It can't do that. If the ego doesn't get involved, it can just become the rose and all its glory. And you too, if you have a calling in your heart, a desire in your heart to get rid of the bullshit you're currently experiencing, and move into something better for you, know this: the universe never puts a desire in your heart unless you have everything within you already to achieve it. Like the acorn that becomes the oak, like the seed that becomes the fruit. Everything that you need is within you. God is not cruel. There are no jokes. If you're thinking about doing or becoming something, it's because you already have within you everything you need to achieve it. Stop lying to yourself and just playing small, right? You're not born to settle. You're born to become everything that is possible within you. Right? I hope that makes sense. The B, obviously, if we're going to end it, then we want to begin it. Begin it. Begin it. Last week, somebody posted on one of my comments. They said, is it too late? She was 60 years old. She said, is it too late for me? And my friend Hope posted on there, who's a part of our team. Hope said, if you're still breathing, it's not too late. There's time, there's opportunity. The time is now for you to begin it. Right now is the time. If there's something calling you in your heart, there's something you know is meant for you. There is no such thing as perfect timing for you, because the ego is attached to the perfection of it, but there is divine timing. And if it's now, it's divine, because that's all there ever is the present moment. So stop confusing yourself and doing the ego talk of perfectionism. And maybe I'll be better along if I wait to have the child until everything's lined up, if I wait to start the business, if I wait to end the relationship, if we do this. And all you're doing is prolonging your compass of misery. You're prolonging that barometer. So instead of going, it's kind of bad, it goes, oh shit, right? And that's all you're doing, is making your compass go farther, harder and harder. The time is now for you. Maybe you need to work with a mentor. Maybe you and I need to work together now so that you can really, start to accomplish some things that time is of essence for you. Time is slipping away. I have lots of clients who are starting families now. Lots of clients who are starting brand new businesses now. Lots of clients who said, I want to raise my hand. I'm tired of sitting on my dreams and imagining, because that's the fear, the devil I know. The failure I've been selling myself is better than the unknown success that I could have. And that's the fear. Like Marianne Williamson says, we're not afraid of our inadequacy. It's our awesomeness that scares us the most, because ultimately we're afraid that we'll lose it somehow. I'll get to some point in my life and it'll all go away. I'll settle for the shit that I can't stand, because I'd be afraid to lose the stuff that I can't even imagine having in the first place. Does that make sense? I'll settle for what I have, because the thought of that is better for me than thinking about losing something that I could hold more dear. It's nonsense, really. Let me get the cat. She's a cuckoo bird. Somebody's been eating some food and has a little bit of a problem, and I just picked it up and that went in my mouth. You understand? It's not very nice of you. Okay. Gross. Ew. All right. Begin it. All right. And then the last one, let's go through them again. No more BS. You can watch this video again, over again. Nail it down. What is it that, is sucking your joy? I recommended that you start with your house, you start with your things, go through your closet even. Get rid of those clothes, honey. You're not fitting back into those. You and I both know. Those are your junior high jeans. Quit it. Own it. You are 100% responsible for your life and absolutely everything in it. You are not a victim to anybody anymore. It's time for you to make the decisions, be the captain of your own ship. Meet your own needs. What's missing in your relationship is what you're withholding. It's time for you to give the thing you seek and speak up and ask for what you want. Be willing to offend people. Piss them off. Offend them. Who cares? Right? At the end of the day, they're their feelings anyway. They're going to have to process their feelings. And you walking around people-pleasing is costing you a lot more than you can afford to spend. Emotionally, physically, sometimes even financially. Release it and let it go. I can help you do that. The past, that is, if it's haunting you. End it. Pull the trigger. It's time to let go of the thing that you've been holding on to, either the push of pain or the pull of purpose. Begin it. Start the thing. God never puts a desire in your heart unless you have everything within you to achieve and accomplish that goal. I believe in you. And you know what? We can work together, and I'll believe in you until you believe in you, and then we'll both be successful because I'll have helped you win. Right? Because that's your birthright. Your birthright is to be successful. Your birthright is to have exactly what it is that you want. And then the last S is support. That's where I come in. You don't have to do this all by yourself. You don't have to figure out everything all alone. I know that you're probably used to that, right? You're used to just like trucking along, figuring it out, piecemealing it together. You don't ask for help until it's really too late, or, it's really bad. And that's okay too. And sometimes I get clients when it's really bad. But why wait? Why not get a support system, somebody in your corner who can go, you got this. Yes, let's do this, right? It's time. The time is now. Let's make it happen. Because otherwise, time is going to pass either way. You're going to be sitting here wishing that you would have started that thing 6 months from now, and you'll be 6 months down the road with more excuses, more stories, and less time, and feeling like you really should have started this sooner. And then guess what? Another 6 months is going to go by. Am I telling you your story? How long have you been waiting to work with me? How many years have you been watching my videos where you go, oh, she makes sense. Oh, yeah, you're going to shit together. I should email her. It's time. Let's go, right? Let's work. And I can't work with everybody, and I won't work with everybody, because I only work with people that I know I can help, and that will be successful. because it's important to me to get referrals. Okay. So like if we're successful, then you're going to tell your friends, you'll be like, yeah, you should work with her. I like that. That's what I want. My online women's group, my exclusive membership is going to be starting September 22nd. It's going to be an exclusive classroom where we're going to meet once a week in a nighttime session. All of us are going to be together and we're going to get to know each other really well. And you're going to develop a sisterhood. You're going to develop a tribe of other women like you because they've all applied to be in this group and accepted by me. And we're going to work together to make sure that we're all accomplishing our goals. Some of you are going to be in there because you want to actually start the relationship this time for you. You want to be in a relationship and you're going to join this group, and that's going to be why you're in it. Others of you are going to join the group because you want to get out of your marriage and go alone. You're like, I'm codependent. It's time for me to be independent and be out on my own. Others of you are starting families. Others of you are starting businesses. There's lots of different things that are going on. Some of you are learning to parent. Some of you are done parenting and your children are empty nesters, and now you want to go, what's next for me? It's a well-rounded group of women, and guess what? In a circle like that, we all bring our wisdom. It's not just me coming to you and saying, okay, everybody, I have wisdom, dun, 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 beat my drum, and we all, download the wisdom. You have wisdom to bring. You have medicine to bring to the table, to the ceremony. We all together, we all have our own special wisdom to bring to each other. Let's create this circle, this sacred woman's circle where we can meet every night, hold each other accountable, and form friendships that are going to last a lifetime. That's my ultimate goal. I want to see you through the whole way, honey, not just part of the way. I want you to go all the way. All right. Let me check in with your comments. Since we're done with the Teaching Tuesday. Hi, Erica. Hi, Paula. Hi, Michael. Hi, Jessica. Hearts to you, too. What about grieving after someone dies? Absolutely, yes. And that's all part of the process, right? So grieving, moving on to the next phase, or just feeling your way through what's currently happening and just being, the point of flow is to live your life with ease and grace. I'm tired of swimming upstream. I don't know about you, but I swam upstream my whole life, climbed ladders that leaned against wrong walls. I want to flow in my life. I want it to be effortless. I want it to be graceful. I want it to be fun. And that's what the point of this group is: free, loved, open, and worthy. And where we come together and learn how to just live our lives with ease, not struggling. The struggle ain't real. It's a creation because of the bullshit that we put up with in our lives. And then we keep struggling, struggling, struggling. It's time to flow. Right? I want to help you do that. Fill out the membership form, the inquiry, and then myself or somebody from our team will get back to you and talk to you about potentially enrolling you in this upcoming open enrollment that we're having. We'd love to have you be part of the group if you feel a calling in your heart. And again, God never puts a desire in your heart without your ability to achieve it. Don't cut your nose off despite your face before you even see if it's for you. If you're at least even curious about it, fill out the form and we can start the dialogue. Okay, we never let anything stand in the way. If anybody's serious about transformation and changing their life, we will find a way to get you inside of this group. I promise. Okay? All right. All right. I love you guys so much. I hope you have an excellent day. And until next time, take excellent care of yourself. And I'll see you really soon.